Your closest friendships are covert compliance mechanisms disguised as emotional bonds. I'll show you how to identify friendship-based manipulation, dismantle your need for approval, and build relationships that serve your strategic interests without enslaving you to others' expectations. You've been trained since childhood to believe friendship is inherently good, noble, pure. It's not. Friendship is the most efficient form of social control ever developed because it operates beneath conscious awareness. You police yourself before your friends ever need to say a word. You censor your opinions. You suppress your ambitions. You dim your light to keep others from feeling eclipsed. And you do it willingly because you've confused emotional hostage-taking with intimacy. Machiavelli understood this completely. He wrote that men are so simple and so ready to obey present necessities that one who deceives will always find those who allow themselves to be deceived. Your friends don't need to manipulate you overtly. The friendship itself is the manipulation. The moment you invest emotional capital in maintaining a relationship, you've created leverage against yourself. What you call loyalty is strategic weakness. What you call connection is negotiated compliance. Real power doesn't come from eliminating friendship. It comes from understanding friendship as a tactical instrument rather than an emotional necessity. I'm going to show you exactly how to identify friendship-based manipulation, dismantle your need for approval, and build relationships that serve your strategic interests without enslaving you to others' expectations. Look at how Henry Kissinger operated during the Nixon administration. He maintained what appeared to be close friendships with powerful figures across the political spectrum: Democrats, Republicans, journalists, foreign leaders. Everyone believed they had special access to him. But watch the pattern. When the Watergate scandal destroyed Nixon's presidency in 1974, Kissinger's supposed loyalty to his closest political ally evaporated strategically. He'd already repositioned himself as indispensable to American foreign policy, independent of Nixon's survival. While Nixon's other friends went down with him, Kissinger transitioned seamlessly to the Ford administration with even more power. The friendship had served its strategic purpose: access to presidential authority and global influence. Once that infrastructure was built, the personal relationship became expendable. Same Washington, same power players, completely different leverage dynamic. He had severed the emotional dependency that turns friendship into a liability. That's the transformation available to you. Not isolation, strategic repositioning. Here's what your brain is doing behind the scenes. Your prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for strategy and long-term planning, gets hijacked by your limbic system the moment social rejection feels possible. Your amygdala treats friendship loss like physical threat. This isn't metaphor. Brain scans show identical activation patterns. You're not maintaining friendships through conscious choice. You're responding to ancient survival programming that equates social exclusion with death. Watch how Napoleon Bonaparte restructured his entire social circle after becoming emperor. His closest childhood friends from Corsica, the Paoli family supporters who'd known him since birth, expected special treatment and positions of power. Napoleon removed them systematically. He promoted based on competence, not history. When his former friends protested, claiming betrayal, Napoleon's response was surgical. I have no friends. I have interests. He'd severed the neurological dependency. The friendships that shaped his identity in Corsica became irrelevant to his imperial strategy. He didn't mourn them. He replaced them with tactical alliances that served conquest, not nostalgia. That's the shift. Your childhood friendships are neurological anchors to a version of yourself that no longer serves your objectives. As Machiavelli wrote, men ought either to be well treated or crushed because they can avenge themselves of lighter injuries. Of more serious ones, they cannot. Your friends exist in this same framework. Either integrate them into your strategic architecture or remove them completely. Lukewarm connection creates maximum vulnerability. Tactical implementation. For the next 7 days, document every moment you modify your behavior to maintain a friendship. Write down the specific compromises. What opinions did you withhold? What opportunities did you decline? What version of yourself did you suppress? You're mapping your own prison. You can't escape until you see the walls. But here's where it gets dangerous. Your friends know your weaknesses, your fears, your secrets, your ambitions. You've handed them complete psychological profiles while believing vulnerability equals intimacy. It doesn't. Vulnerability equals leverage distribution. The more someone knows about your internal architecture, the more precisely they can manipulate it. This is information asymmetry in action. Intelligence agencies spend billions protecting classified information. You give yours away for free in the name of openness. Look at how Oprah Winfrey manages her inner circle. She's built a public persona of radical openness and vulnerability, but watch closely. She controls which vulnerabilities get exposed and when. Her actual strategic thinking, her business decisions, her private relationships, compartmentalized completely. Even Gayle King, her closest friend of 40 years, operates with information boundaries. When Oprah sold majority stake in OWN Network, even Gayle learned about it on prepared timelines. That's not secrecy. That's intelligence management. Oprah understands that friendship without information asymmetry is just mutual exposure. She maintains power by controlling the information economy even within intimate relationships. The vulnerability you see is performance. The strategy remains invisible. Machiavelli observed, "The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him." Your friends aren't neutral. They're intelligence assets or intelligence liabilities. There's no third category. Tactical implementation. Create 3 relationship tiers. Tier 1. People who have complete information access. This should be 0 people, maybe 1. Tier 2. People who have compartmentalized information. They know specific aspects but never the full picture. Tier 3. Everyone else. Audit your current friendships. Who knows too much? Begin information retrieval immediately. Stop sharing. Start observing. This is where most people break. They confuse friendship with identity validation. You need your friends to reflect back a version of yourself that confirms your self-image. When they don't, you experience it as betrayal. You're not angry they changed. You're angry your mirror stopped working. Real dominance requires 0 external validation, not reduced validation. 0. The moment you need someone to confirm your worth, you've made them your master. Study how Kobe Bryant managed friendships during his career. He systematically distanced himself from almost everyone, including teammates who wanted casual connection. When Shaquille O'Neal, his partner in 3 championships, wanted friendship, Kobe refused. He didn't need Shaq to validate his work ethic or confirm his greatness. Everyone called him cold, selfish, arrogant. But watch what happened. Shaq left for Miami, and his career declined. Kobe stayed in Los Angeles and won 2 more championships without him. The friendship everyone demanded would have required Kobe to compromise his training intensity, his competitive standards, his singular focus. He chose mastery over likability. That's the reflection trap. If someone needs you to be someone you're not, they're not your friend, they're your warden. Machiavelli wrote, "Men are driven by 2 principal impulses, either by love or by fear. Your friends who love you create dependency. Your allies who fear your absence create leverage. One is a weakness, one is a weapon. Choose accordingly." Tactical implementation. Stop performing. For 72 hours, interact with your closest friends without attempting to manage their perception of you. Say exactly what you think. Pursue exactly what you want. Watch who stays and who leaves. The ones who leave were always obstacles disguised as support systems. What nobody tells you about detachment is this. Complete detachment is just another form of weakness. Sociopaths detach from everyone. They're not powerful, they're isolated. Real strategic dominance requires selective attachment, the ability to invest emotionally when it serves you and withdraw completely when it doesn't. This is precision weaponry. You're not eliminating emotion, you're deploying it tactically. Study how Margaret Thatcher operated as Prime Minister. She maintained what appeared to be close friendships with cabinet members like Geoffrey Howe, her deputy for years. They worked side by side, appeared united publicly, seemed personally connected. Then Howe opposed her European policy. Thatcher removed him without hesitation, demoted him from Foreign Secretary to Deputy Prime Minister, a humiliation disguised as promotion. When he finally resigned and delivered a devastating speech against her, everyone acted shocked, but the pattern was always there. Thatcher's attachments existed in service to governance, not the reverse. When strategic objectives diverged, the friendship became irrelevant. No emotional residue, no lingering guilt, pure tactical adjustment. That's selective attachment operating at the highest level. Machiavelli stated clearly, "Wise princes should build friendships when there is no need for them, so that when there is a need for them, they are ready." Friendship is infrastructure, not identity. You build it before you need it. You activate it when conditions demand. You abandon it when it becomes a liability. Tactical implementation. Identify your 3 highest investment friendships. Now ask, what strategic value do they provide? Not emotional comfort. Strategic value. Intelligence, access, skills, resources. If the answer is, they make me feel good, you've identified a luxury expense during wartime. Reduce investment immediately or convert the relationship into actual strategic utility. The real power move? Listen carefully. Every friendship operates on covert contracts. You've never stated these agreements explicitly, but they govern every interaction. I'll validate your choices if you validate mine. I'll hide my success so you don't feel inadequate. I'll stay small so you don't feel threatened. These contracts are invisible until someone violates them. Then suddenly, the friendship explodes with resentment you didn't know existed. You're not maintaining friendships. You're servicing unspoken debts you never consciously agreed to incur. Look at the relationship between Mark Zuckerberg and Eduardo Saverin in Facebook's early days. They were Harvard roommates, best friends, co-founders. Saverin provided the initial funding and legitimacy, but watch the shadow contract. Saverin could be co-founder if he never challenged Zuckerberg's control. When Saverin tried to leverage his equity position to gain decision-making power, the contract terminated. Zuckerberg diluted his shares from 34% to 0.03% and removed him from the company. No gradual cooling, surgical severance. Everyone called it betrayal, but the terms were always there, unspoken but absolute. Zuckerberg's friendship operated inside boundaries Saverin never consciously acknowledged until he crossed them. That's how shadow contracts work. They're more binding than legal agreements because both parties deny they exist until they're violated. Machiavelli understood this completely. Men nearly always follow the tracks made by others and proceed in their affairs by imitation. Your friends are imitating relationship patterns they've never examined. So are you. These imitations become shadow contracts that imprison both parties. Tactical implementation. Take your most emotionally charged friendship. Write down every unspoken rule that governs it. I can't be more successful than them. I have to be available when they need me. I can't disagree with their core beliefs. You're documenting your own chains. Now break one rule. Deliberately. Watch what happens. The friendship either evolves into something authentic or reveals itself as a control mechanism. Either outcome is valuable intelligence. Here's the part that separates amateurs from operators. Your presence has value only in proportion to your absence. When you're always available, always responsive, always engaged, you've made yourself worthless. Scarcity creates value. Your friends don't respect your time because you've never made them pay the cost of access. Absence is a weapon. Use it. Watch how Beyoncé manages access to her personal life. She maintains what appears to be friendships with industry figures, but on her timeline exclusively. When Anna Wintour invites her to events, Beyoncé appears or doesn't based on strategic value, not social obligation. She doesn't explain absences, doesn't apologize, doesn't negotiate. The result? When Beyoncé does engage, everyone treats it as a privilege. She's restructured the entire social economy so her attention is the scarce resource, not theirs. This isn't celebrity privilege. It's strategic scarcity management. She's communicated clearly. Access to her, even for friends, operates on her terms or doesn't operate at all. Most people would panic at making powerful figures wait. Beyoncé understands that scarcity creates leverage. Machiavelli wrote, "He who is less beholden to fortune is able to maintain himself." The less you need any specific friendship, the more power you hold in all friendships. Your needlessness becomes your greatest asset. Tactical implementation. Identify your most demanding friendship, the person who requires constant attention, immediate responses, perpetual emotional validation. For the next 2 weeks, delay every response by 24 hours. Not inconsistently, systematically. Watch how the dynamic shifts. They'll either adjust to your new terms or reveal their relationship with you was always based on your compliance. Both outcomes give you power. The tactical shift happens here. Everything I've described collapses into a single operational principle: sovereignty. Not independence, not isolation. Sovereignty. The ability to maintain relationships without subordinating your strategic objectives to others' emotional needs. Sovereign operators don't eliminate friendship, they restructure it. Your friends no longer define your identity, validate your choices, or influence your trajectory. They exist in your architecture as valuable elements, but they're not load-bearing walls. Your structure stands whether they stay or leave. Study how Warren Buffett operates socially. He maintains long-term friendships with figures like Bill Gates, Charlie Munger, and political leaders, but none of them alter his investment philosophy or core principles. When friends pressured him to invest in tech during the dot-com boom, he refused and was publicly mocked. When friends criticized his lifestyle choices, living in the same modest house, driving old cars, he ignored them entirely. When friends suggested he pursue political office, the suggestion died on contact. His friendships exist, but they exert zero gravitational pull on his strategic trajectory. He takes input. He ignores pressure. That's sovereignty. The relationships remain valuable because they don't cost him his autonomy. The moment any friendship requires him to compromise his core principles, it becomes irrelevant automatically. Not through conflict, through indifference. Machiavelli's ultimate counsel. A prince ought to have no other aim or thought, nor select anything else for his study than war and its rules and discipline. Your war is self-mastery. Every friendship either advances that campaign or undermines it. There's no neutral territory. Tactical implementation. Define your non-negotiable strategic objectives for the next 36 months. Write them down. Now audit every friendship through this filter. Does this relationship accelerate these objectives, impede them, or exist orthogonally? Accelerators get increased investment. Impediments get removed. Orthogonal relationships get maintained at minimum cost. This isn't cruelty, it's clarity. You're finally aligning your social architecture with your actual mission instead of pretending they're separate domains. You came here believing friendship was sacred. You're leaving knowing it's strategic. That's not cynicism, that's liberation. Most people will die having never experienced authentic friendship because they confused emotional dependency with connection. They'll be surrounded by people who need them to stay small, stay comfortable, stay predictable. They'll call it loyalty. It's a prison. You now possess the framework to build something different. Relationships that serve your sovereignty instead of undermining it. Connections based on strategic value instead of covert contracts. Friendships that enhance your power instead of requiring its surrender. But here's the warning. This transformation makes you dangerous. To social systems that rely on compliance, to people who profit from your weakness, to the version of yourself that needs external validation to feel real. The moment you stop letting friendship control you, you'll discover who your actual allies are. Most people will leave. Let them. They were obstacles disguised as companions. If this framework activated something in you, if you felt the chains starting to loosen, subscribe now because the next video deconstructs romantic relationships using the same ruthless clarity. You think friendship is manipulative? Wait until you see what love really is. And here's your final move. Write "sovereign operator" in the comments below. Not because I need the engagement, because you need to declare it publicly. The moment you state your strategic independence out loud, you can't retreat into comfortable dependency. You've marked yourself. Now follow through. The choice is yours. Stay controlled by soft power disguised as friendship, or become the architect of relationships that actually serve you. Choose correctly.